Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 9 of the PSGL F1, the top tier. The last one to do it. It is Suzuka, the Japanese Grand Prix awaits as we see Valtteri Bottas here on the race poster. And let's introduce the track first. The Suzuka International Racing Course, as it's known. The only track on the F1 calendar to have the word course in its name. Usually it's a circuit, but this one here a little bit different. And also, this is not where it stops. This is also the only track to be a figure 8 with the crossover after Degner 2, and then obviously just before 130R. 5.8 kilometers long, first used here for F1 in 1987. 27 laps away to 17 corners, and a pit stop loss of 21 seconds. We see the tires are very balanced. We see 0.6 of a second between the softs and the mediums, and another 0.5 between the mediums and the hards. So, you know, there's no tire compound skipped. We see the pit stop strategies probably being soft to medium one stop or soft to hard. Those are the predicted strategies, with the soft tires lasting between 6 to 10 laps depending on what you want to do. And we look at the recent results, and we saw Casper, who is no longer part of PSGL F1, at least for now, because he moved on to higher things with F1 Esports. He won here last time, but the pole position and second place went to CRG Blizzard, and at least that man is still here. Let's quickly look back at last week. We had Vietnam, we had PSGL winning the race and taking the championship lead. Jordan in second, Blizzard third. Then we had Wouters, Vassaracer, Ashbest, Onyx, Liam, Thymon, and Sparks. Quick look at the driver's standings. We see PSGL now 69 points, 10 ahead of Vassaracer, and 23 ahead of Onyx. Danny in fourth place. He has been replaced for this week. We'll get into that later on. You see the results right here, and in the team standings, we have Williams leading the way, but it is ever so close. Only 6 points separate them from Racing Point, and only 9 from AlphaTauri. And behind that, we have Red Bull, McLaren, and Alfa Romeo really close as well. As we introduce the driver of the day from last week, it was PSGL. He did receive 57% of the votes. He won the race. He got driver of the day. What more can you ask for? With that, I'm going to bring in Owen Wyatt. You know him, you love him. Owen, how are you doing?
Doing brilliant. Hello, Austin. Hello, viewers. Welcome along. Hope you've all recovered from last week in Vietnam. We had such a dramatic race. We had rain, we had action, we had the top 3 all binning it on the same lap. A classic PSGL race, and it has put Gil in an extraordinary position coming into this race. Very much an outsider. I don't think anyone would have predicted him to be in this position coming into just past the halfway point. And he's been leading the championship for a while now. He's going to push forward, and I really can't see him being stopped.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for sure. I mean, really, the only guy to possibly do it is Vassaracer. I mean, the 10-point gap there. He's really the only one who's close enough. Maybe Onyx has an outsider chance. There's still 6 races left in the season, so you could say, well, 23 points in 6 races is not that much, but you have to remember we have a different point system here. You only get 16 points for a win. You go 16, 12, 10, 8, 6, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for the top 10. So there's not that many points on offer as there is in normal F1, where 23 points means less than a win. Here it's only 16, so it's almost 1.5 wins.
Yeah, so that makes it pretty nice for Gil, but just on the constructors, I want to bring that up a little bit as well, because it's good to see Williams on top there and Racing Point second, but the fact that AlphaTauri, they've got Gil up front and he's got 69 points, just currently at the bottom of the championship, what we can see on the standings anyway. There's been more drivers down 20, but he is currently last on 5 of what we've seen at the minute. And so that's going to be really annoying, isn't it? Because you've got to think AlphaTauri really should be taking both titles. You'd expect a little bit more from Juice maybe this season. But again, there's still more races. Maybe he can pick up some form soon. But certainly Gil appears to be carrying that one. And that is sort of what's keeping Williams up there at the minute.
Yeah, certainly seems like it. The question is whether Juice will be able to pick up the slack a little bit going forward. There's 6 races left. Maybe some of the tracks early on didn't suit him, you know, the tracks later on do. But we'll see how that develops. Right now we are looking at VSR Jordan. He's not going to be the first one across the line, I reckon. I don't know who will be, actually. I think Gil is just starting a lap. Yes, indeed. It's hard to really pinpoint. I think it's a Ferrari. No, that would be Fabi then. I think it's actually an Alfa Romeo who's first across the line. That would be Sparks, wouldn't it? Yes, indeed,
I believe
Sparks.
So.
Yeah, so Sparks coming through the Casio triangle here. And he's got the last right-hander full speed to go. DRS and short run to the line. 125.9 and a 10th better than Onyx, his CRG teammate. Obviously in a different car here in the Racing Point. But I think so far 2 pretty good lap times. But as I say that, well, that's perfect timing, isn't it? There go Jordan and Christmas almost equal on times. Jordan with a 125.670 and Christmas only 4.
I think it's been an incident out there.
Yeah, I think it's already gone.
Facing backwards.
Yeah, Jordan and Christmas only 4 milliseconds between those two, and then Thyman in third. So, well, commentators cursed myself there, really, didn't I?
A little bit, but it is very early on in qualifying. They might find themselves back up there anyway later on, but certainly we're expecting to get quicker as we lose Sven at the same place as we just saw Aero spin off, and that is out of the spoon curve. A really difficult exit then. I must assume they're pushing to the limit there and they're just getting it a bit wrong on the gravel potential on the exit. That's 2 cars gone there. One got away with it, but Sven did not.
Yeah, that looked very dangerous there. I just got a shot of the situation by Samuel Bean. That car was basically covering the whole track.
Yeah, not what you want to see, especially in the race as well. That can happen there, and then that's sort of where a car rebinds on the track. If it doesn't go quickly enough, you could get pile-ups, but yeah, in qualifying, not the biggest issue. And Sammy being second there,
yeah, I mean, he just drove past that wreckage of Sven, and still faster than almost everyone except the championship leader? That is a remarkable... I mean... that really wows me right now. Sammy Bean must be fearless. He sees the car there, he's like, okay, well, I'll just drive through it. It's ghosting anyway. I would suffer a serious case of a code brown if I see that sort of moment where I see a car right in front covering the whole track, but Sammy Bean didn't even bat an eye. Second place, provisionally.
Do you know what's more impressive than that? Look at the gap between second and 7th already. It's just over half a 10th of a second. That's what we want to see. Very, very close up in there. And so that Gil will be very happy with that 2/10 gap at the minute. And you know what? It's still so weird. The game's been out for a while now, but it's still so weird to see them able to go full throttle over that last corner, right there being a horrible bump there. I do wonder if some of them sort of instinctively do lift off a tad when they get there. I'm sure that'll wear off eventually, but I don't know if it's just me. But that's still, you always imagine there's that bump there. It really has been ingrained into my memory a lot.
Yeah, the one thing about this track here is really you have a couple of sections where you have sort of an AstroTurf, the sort of green surface there laid out beyond the curbs or around the curbs, really. And you want to avoid that at all costs, really. It's so dangerous, it's so slippery, as we see Vasta Racer invalidate there on the exit of turn 2. There's a massive curb there, and if you get on that with all 4 wheels, then, well, that's an invalidation right there. So I think that's pretty much what happened to Vasta Racer. Let's look at Recon. He's coming through the S's right now. He's one of few drivers really right now on a flying lap. The others are Blizzard and Vasta Racer, and I think they both invalidated already.
Louis on a one as well. He's just coming up to the final sector now, actually. It's the second try.
Yeah.
Again, qualifying struggles for Louis, but can he finally get another good lap in? I think he had once in, wasn't it, Zandvoort, and that's not gone well. He's cut the Casio triangle. But I believe Zandvoort must have been pretty much his only decent qualifying, and well, it's looking like another disaster.
Yeah, I mean, Louis just can't catch a break, really. I think that's what it is. But let me just quickly find something, because I had a little bit of a talk earlier with Louis, and basically what he said is I will crash into the wall at Japan tonight and being a second off the pace. He has no self-esteem, really, I feel like, about driving this track. I'm a bit surprised, to be honest. And I gotta say, for Louis, we know how good he is. We know how much he can do. And for him to just have, maybe he just doesn't like the track. That's really the only thing I can deduce from that. But, you know, it's very surprising to me to see someone who was so dominant for so long now fall off so much.
Well, I mean, you've got to lose a bit of confidence, surely, when you have been a dominant force for a while, and even if you aren't dominant in the top three, you're always in the contention, and you come into this game and you're at the back. I mean, after half a season, you are going to lose the momentum, you're going to lose all your motivation as well, and it will be difficult for Louis. He's got to get one good result. I think if he does string one good race together, that might build for a second half that'll be decent. But right now, it is looking concerning, isn't it? Because at this rate, he's not staying in this tier. He's gone from championship contender to F2 standard that quickly, so he has got to pull himself together. He's got the speed. We all know it. We've all seen it. We see the Gill on the pad as well can do it, so he hasn't got that excuse. So he's just got to get at it again. We all know he's got it. He's just got to show it.
Yeah, I think it's sort of the case of he's sort of a mini Brendan Lee. You know, what Brendan Lee is in F1 esports, Louis is right now, and he's in the same car, so it kind of fits the analogy. Louis is in PSGL, the dominant force, winning and winning and winning and winning, and now all of a sudden, new game, new season, and everything's changed, and you know, there's a switch in your head that's just set the wrong way, and you just gotta flip that switch, you know, change your mindset, and things should be clicking again. The question is, how fast will Louis be able to flip that switch and find his mojo again?
You want to talk about change? Look at the top six right now. Christmas just gone P1, then Feynman's just gone up there in P3, but it is Gill currently on a lap as well. Juiced had went up to second, he's now down to fourth. Sammy Bean still holding P5. Tactician was up there, Jordan as well. It seems very shaken up at the minute. I don't think anyone would have expected Christmas on top, I've got to say. No disrespect to him, but certainly a nice surprise.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll be happy. Gill aborts his lap. He didn't invalidate, he just straight up aborted it. He had 2/10. He was 2/10 down on his own time.
Yeah,
after 2 sectors.
If you don't think you're going to improve with a track like this, you probably could still sneak 2 times in. So yeah. I'd get in now, go for 2 more runs. That is the smart thing to do. And look at these gaps, by the way. I know we keep saying it every week, but it really is. This could well be one of the closest right now, because I mean, it's 7 cents between the top 15. It's just stunning, isn't it?
Yeah,
it always astounds me, this.
It needs to be said. I mean, this isn't Austria. This is the track where you only have 10 to 11 corners. This isn't Monza. This is Japan. You have tricky corners, turns 1 and 2. The S's where you need to get every single bit right. You have Degner 1 and 2.
Wow.
You have
Look at the top 4.
Yeah.
Austin at the top 5. I've never seen anything
Hold on,
like this.
Valtus and Thyman. Can we just talk about that for a second?
Half a tenth
Yeah,
the top 5.
But
wow.
Valtus and Thyman, not even 1,000th of a second. That's the exact same time.
That's just incredible. It really is. This is top quality stuff you're seeing from all these guys right now. There's nothing better than this.
Yeah, can I just say, look at P15, 16, and 17 as well. Even that far down the order, it's still incredibly close. We're talking 1/40th of a second. That is remarkable. That is absolutely remarkable. The only drivers we are missing right now, obviously, have Osterreis. That's second in the championship. So we'll just quickly look at him here coming through the left-hand hairpin. and now onto what I always consider to be the fastest part of the track. All the way towards Spoon, then through Spoon, then back towards 130R. That's where you have a lot of high speed stuff. Obviously the S is a bit slower. Sort of have a tale of two different tracks here. It starts off sort of turns 1 and 2, and then goes all the way to that hairpin. And then you have a sort of second track that goes from that hairpin through Spoon 130 on the Cassia Triangle onto the main straight. And that's obviously a much faster track. As the Vast Racer now comes across the line, what's it going to be? Runs out of ERS just before 25.7, P11 right in the middle almost.
Not even a bad time. It's just that the whole field is that close that it sort of devalues it. I mean, only 3/10 off, you wouldn't think it's that bad, but it really is so close right now. You literally can't have a single mistake. That's where we are right now.
Yeah, meanwhile, Jordan has invalidated. He's probably going to start a new one. Same with Recon, so we have no one on a flying lap right now, from what it seems.
Sammy Bean is just starting one now. We'll get to see his whole lap action now, because there is, as you say, nobody else doing laps as far as we can tell who aren't invalid or on a lap. So enjoy a lap around here with Sammy Bean then, as he heads up through the S section. Like I say, he was up in second earlier on. Hasn't really lost that much time. It's just that everyone else, as I say, has slotted in between him. And so even a minute upgrade here, half a tenth for top position, that's all he really needs. A tenth, 2 tenths puts him right up at the front. So we'll see what he can do as he comes round the Degnas now. He's, look at that, up at nearly a tenth and a half in the first sector. He keeps that up for each sector, he'll be on for P1. That's just incredibly quick already.
Just remember, Sammy Bean was the one who had the incident with, I mean, incident is overstating it, but Sven was parked in the middle of the track sideways, and Sammy Bean had to drive through him when he set that time here out of Spoon. So I would be surprised if all of a sudden, this time maybe Sammy Bean doesn't flinch either and gains some more time, potentially. I mean, he could be on for a really good one here. Second sector, oh, actually just 200ths of a second. It wouldn't even be enough for a position change, despite it being this close. He needs to find some more here through the Cassia Triangle. And I think that was very good, yeah. But he aborts this one. He knows he doesn't have enough. So
2.25 minutes left. That's a lot of traffic I have to deal with when he comes out there.
Oh, yeah.
That might struggle to make it to the line in a good position to start a lap. He'll get a lap, but he'll just maybe be in a bad position, as they all do start to come out on track now.
Yeah,
what are going to be?
Who's going to be the first one? Louis, isn't it?
Final runs.
Yeah, Louis is going to be the first one to start a lap. He's taking it slow here towards the Cassia Triangle, wants the tires to maybe cool down a little bit. Although, looking at the track conditions right now, I feel like you don't need the tires to cool down that much. They should be quite easily held within temperature range. And look at that. Oh my god, the traffic there into turn 1. We have yellow flags all over the place for people slowing down, letting someone by. In this case, Louis. Louis off and out. Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh dear, that's really his season summed up in an accident, if he ever wanted it.
Yeah. Very, very unfortunate there.
Who's next to start a lap then? I can see a Renault come.
I was about to say it's probably going
to.
It's got to be Tactician, because Sammy Bean's still in the pit lane, which means Sammy Bean, I think, might not be able to get one. He's now out, but Aero has left the session. That is very bad for him. Let's hope he can rejoin before the race starts, otherwise he's out.
Yeah, absolutely right. He's got to make sure he's here. I think when the formation lap goes, I think that's when he has to be here for, because even if you DC in the formation lap where you're not there, it's just not viable to come back. It's against the rules of the blue. So as long as he's back before then, he's got a couple of minutes to do so. Should be able to get by.
Yeah, hopefully.
Here's Tactician up by a tenth. That tenth will put him up into actually only 6th place, because as that top 5 are all in half a tenth of each other. That's a really close group. Feynman just behind is in that group. We'll see his lap next. He's just gone purple in the first sector by the looks of the map. So that's a good start for him.
Let's not trust the map on that.
All these runs are going to be something special, I think, because they're all going to be quick fire, across the line, cross the line, cross the line, as we tend to see. But it's the minute changes in position which are gonna be just fantastic to look at. So here's Tactician through the middle sector, and he's only 100th away from pole right now. But look at the traffic! Oh no!
Oh, that is, oh my
qualifying.
goodness, that is an Alfa Romeo. I think that was either Recon or Sparks.
Sparks. It
was
Sparks.
Yeah, Recon's already on a lap, so that was Sparks.
That's awful. Where's Feynman and all that? He's lost time. He's lost time out there, so he wasn't caught up in all this. But he is going to probably not improve, and he doesn't improve. But what a shame that is. Oh, that's so irritating.
Yeah, I fear the stewards might actually see this land on their table, and there might be some sort of repercussion come for Sparks for not pulling out of the way.
Right, let's try and catch everyone as they cross the line. That's quite difficult to do, especially when I can't see half their names. And there's a hat that's just gone for 13. Table plan, that one will be. We've got juiced into the pit lane.
Has it validated?
Ferrari of Fabi. Here goes 11th fastest. We've now got Christmas. Provisional pole setter. He's up by a quarter of a second, Austin. Loses some of that time, but has gone faster. Here comes Wouters up to the line. Does not improve position. And we will next have, I believe, Gill in the pit lane. Hasn't done his lap. Onyx didn't improve there.
Master Racer
in IP1.
Wow.
Here comes Blizzard, doesn't improve. And we do have Sparks coming, but he might well be in trouble. Jordan's gone P4. We've got, I believe that's Art. I can't see his name, but I assume it's him.
Here comes Sparks.
And Sammy Bean.
P3.
Oh no. Sammy Bean's had a real slide there. That's cost him. Didn't quite get top 10, but that might not be the worst position in the world, P11. It depends on what they think of the strategy, although it does seem like it'd be a pretty simple one. But P11, it's proving to be one of the better positions to start on this game. But it's not pole position, and that pole position has been taken at the last minute by Vasta Racer. And Austin, I'm going to need you to go through the grid because I can barely see half the names.
Okay. That will be Vasta Racer in pole position. It's an all-German front row with Christmas in second. Then we got Sparks in third, Blizzard in fourth. Dare I say an all-British second row? I know Sparks might not like that. Oh, Louis has left the session. Oh, no.
Oh, I don't think he really cares.
Yeah. Jordan 5, Gil 6, Thyman 7, Wouters 8, Recon 9, Onyx 10, Samuel Bean, the coveted P11, Tactician 12, Juice 13, Fabi 14, Tableclan 15, Ashbest 16, Aero 17, that's a name that's disappeared for me as well, Louis 18, Prince 19, and Sven, after his crash out of Spoon, in 20th place. Now, I think most of the viewers already know the track, but I think the formation lap is probably a good time, or before the formation lap is a good time to introduce the track as the drivers are loading in and choosing their setups and all that stuff. We are showing you the track map very quickly. So this is the Suzuka International Racing Course, 5.8 kilometers long, 3.6 miles, 18 corners. You see one DRS zone only, the detection point right before the Casio Triangle. The S's are going to be very important. You need to nail every single corner there in the first sector, and that's how quickly that goes. As Louis has rejoined, I think this counts as in time. I'm not sure.
I hope his car's there. That's the worry there.
Yeah.
We'll find out in a moment, but
Aero apparently hasn't, by the way.
Well, I would count the names up there, but half of them I can't even see. So we'll just wait and see how many cars
those are the only
start on the grid.
Yeah, those are the only two names missing, Louis and Aero. Those are the only two that are not there. Everyone else, either 18 names, Aero and Louis are missing. So
right, let's see.
That means they are out at this point, I would say.
Yes, I would tend to agree with you there, although their cars are on the grid. And if Louis can just hop in, since he is technically in the lobby, he should be able to hop in that car.
So Aero's out. Aero's out. Aero's car is not. Aero's not in the car. That's an X behind his name.
Well, yes.
And the same is true for Louis.
But he's in the lobby. He might be able just to hop in.
Yeah, but the question is whether that's legal.
We'll find out what he does anyway. But either way, it's only 8 teams. A pretty grim position anyway. But let's just quickly look at the tires, by the way. So Sammy being outside that top 10, he is on the mediums, as is just Fabi, and then Table Clan, Ash, Best, Prinens, and Sven. And then the rest are all on the softs.
Yep, Tactician and
that'll be second stint, I imagine.
Tactician and the two that we don't know whether they are allowed to even continue, Aero and Louis. I think Aero, as I said, is not even in the lobby. We'll see quickly. I want to hop on, but yeah, they're both not in their cars yet. So at this point, I mean, I'm not the one making decisions, neither are you. But I would like to get a potential verdict there from Connor. I think he's in the chat on the rules on that one, because they rejoined before the formation lap, but I mean, they're not taking the control of their car during the formation lap because the game doesn't let them. So what's the verdict on that? I have no idea. We know that if they disconnect during the race, it's over. As we see Vassar's already taking out one of the little cones there in the Cassia Triangle, just clearing out the track, you know, as you do. Shouldn't be too much of an issue as they now take their grid slots to start the mad dash towards turn 1.
Race is being
Ashbest,
by the looks of it.
Ashbest has left the session.
So we will restart so the other two can get back in. I guess that's the rules. So I guess we all get to watch a bit of a Looney Tunes style start here.
Louis has left. Okay.
By the sound of it, from Ash Best, we will be going again. What's happening?
Migrating host. Okay, so at this point, yeah.
The chat is actually disagreeing with each other, but they're saying it's the rules. So yeah, so it looks like we will restart. Shame. I'm just looking forward to seeing this one.
Okay, so this is not actually the race start, in case you're wondering. We are getting a restart. We are getting a restart. We have a drive-through penalty for Thyman. And oh my goodness! Oh, guys, what is going on there? Let's hope we don't start this way. Oh my god. Let's hope we don't start this way next time around. Guys, please behave a little bit. We have 7 cars out. We're tired. But yeah, let's just leave. I think that was enough.
You saw nothing.
Yeah, you saw nothing. Just disregard. As I said, it was a restart to begin with, so it wasn't going to happen anyway. And so they had a little bit of fun there, played a little bit of Demolition Derby, I guess. But it wasn't obviously the actual race. So they already knew by then that there was going to be a restart happening. And so they just had a little bit of fun there, so we are just waiting. That is the old invitation there from Ashbest, so we're still waiting. And let's hope they are a little bit more well-behaved when the actual start comes. The very tricky part of this track, as we can quickly just bring up the race info again. If you look at this track map on the left side there, you look at turn 1. It's a very tricky one because it's almost flat out. I mean, it is kind of flat out, but every time you have a flat out corner at the start of the race, I mean, just think about Russia turn 1. It's a flat out corner, but at the start of the race, as everything is so tightly packed, that makes it very difficult to choose your lanes, etc., because you don't want to be all the way on the outside. It basically narrows the track because you don't want to be all the way on the inside, as at that point, you might get squeezed into a wall or off the track in some way. Same goes all the way on the outside. So everything sort of narrows towards the middle. And could that be some sort of issue for the drivers in turn 1?
They're sensible, but they're aggressive. It just depends. It depends who's where. I think that's what's gonna decide that, if I'm being brutally honest. Because some people will be more calculated, others will be like, I've got to get the move, I've got to get the move, I've got to get the move. So, we'll see what they decide to do. But I hope they'll be sensible.
Yeah, as the drivers are now loading into the lobby, we're just quickly going to stay on this while the drivers load in and while we load into the lobby. I think once again we can just check the drivers' standings, actually. So, just to refresh a little bit what the situation is right now. We have Gil, who's going to start in P6, leading the championship. But then we have the pole sitter Vaster Racer in P2, on the driver's standing. So 10 points between those two. Now, how many points are there for P6? Well, that would be 5 points. How many points are there for the win? That would be 16. If they finish how they qualified, Buster Race is going to lead the championship by 1 point.
That's good. I like it. I like it doing that. Swapping round. Having some fun now with the championship standings. But do you know what? Let's not sort of discount others around them.
True.
Onyx can go in and get an advantage of this if those two have any issues. But it does feel like it is Gil and Vaster sort of in there. Onyx has had a few rough races, unfortunately. It sort of holds him back a bit.
Yeah, and then
Danny's completely out of it. Danny's not here anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Danny's completely out of it. He's now replaced by Sven. Jordan might also have a good shot there. Same with Sparks. I mean, Sparks is 28 points away from Gil. If Gil has a sort of semi-bad race and gets low points, then if Sparks gets a podium, maybe there could be an opportunity there to at least inch a little closer towards the top spots in the standings. I mean, at this point, I would expect that Danny should be outside the top 5 after this race. I would be very surprised if both Jordan and Sparks come off here with 0 points. And even then, there's still Blizzard who could overtake him. There's still, I mean, for Wout it's going to be difficult. He would have to get a P2. But Blizzard could also get him with all he would need as a P4. As someone has again left the lobby. We'll just quickly check in. What is going on here? That would be Tactician. There you go. He's now back. Let's hope they pick their cars. And we can then hopefully ready up and load back into the lobby. But yeah, it is a very interesting situation. And once again, to go back to the race info, this is on the right side what the strategy is going to be like. 6 to 8 laps on the softs if they want to go on to hards. However, the most likely is the soft to medium. We saw many drivers start on the mediums. Outside the top 10, basically everyone except for Tactician in P12. And so it could very well be that we see that from everyone. So 9 to 10 laps, that's where we sort of expect the pit window to be. 9, 10, maybe 8 for an undercut. And then 17 to 18 laps to the end and to finish the race. Pit stop loss, that's going to be important to calculate where the drivers come out after their pit stop. 21 seconds. So it's a little bit of a longer pit lane here. It mostly comes down to the fact that after the pit lane, you still have a sort of long straight. It's not the next corner instantly, or you're even cutting out a corner, like, for example, in Canada or in Spa.
Also with pit stops, I think actually, if anything, this restart will make the soft to medium strategy much easier, because obviously top 10, they're on brand new tires now. That's sort of by default. You can't just stick on quality tires. It's not possible. So they'll get, at least 2 laps of wear back on their tires. Mind you, those laps is a slow lap, but still you've lost a whole 5-10% of wear thanks to this restart. So that helps that strategy out of all, obviously. Safety cars, again, we'll say it every week, could also influence it. If you get an early one like lap 4 or lap 5, that could influence you onto the hards early or something. But we'll see what they all decide to do. I think at the moment the grid is being set, so we should be preparing for restarts soon. It's just
I mean, the one thing to note here, you see the time difference between the medium and the hard being only half a second. If you pit early under the safety car for hard tires, you do the math. I mean, if you do 22 laps, 21 laps, 20 laps on the hards, yes, you might lose up to 10 seconds, but you lose 21 from a pit stop. So it might actually be worth it to go sort of lap 4, lap 5 onto the hards and try and finish the race, rather than staying out under the safety car, get the track position, but having to pit basically 3-4 laps after the safety car comes in. So if there is an early safety car, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some cars come in, maybe most of them, to be honest, come into the pit lane and go onto the hard tire. It is a viable option. even though it does not. It's not as fast as the soft to medium one stop. As we are getting ready now, the drivers are loading in to the session, and obviously all we get is a race. The custom grid has been set, and so we are getting underway shortly.
In fairness to this track, I know maybe it's not fit on the F1 games anymore. I haven't really done much league racing here, but certainly on F1 2018 and 2019, what I found was that this track was probably actually one of the best on the game for the hardest tire. You genuinely could push every single lap. Doesn't matter how old they were; they just didn't lose any pace. It was just a thing with this track. I don't know why it was like that. I don't know if it's still like that, but if it is, that makes it even more viable to do that early stop into the hards, because you will be setting faster laps every single time, even at the end, on this tires. They just don't lose it. But that was on the old games. It maybe is a bit pointless that, but if it is a thing, then there you go.
Yeah, I've had the same experience where the hard tire doesn't lose any pace. I was racing China earlier today, and I had sort of the same experience where the tire just got faster and faster, and I got more green sectors over time. And so it might be that this is the case here as well, especially considering that the gap between the hard and the medium is only half a second. It's not much. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone says, hey, you know what, let's try this, let's do this. Although, again, really only for a pit stop, because otherwise the medium tire doesn't lose that much pace either. It's very consistent because you lose fuel every lap, but obviously you lose a bit of tire grip every lap as well, and so it balances itself out almost perfectly on the medium tire. On the soft it really doesn't, but on the hard it's actually, you don't lose enough. And so, because of the less fuel, you gain the pace. So, it could be that happens here as well, as the drivers once again take the formation lap, and this time all 20 are in their cars. Are they?
Hold on a minute. Recon, is that allowed to be sitting on the mediums in P9?
Oh, that is not allowed.
And Sammy Bean, had he not chosen the softs?
No, Sammy Bean was on the mediums, but Tactician was on the softs.
Yeah.
So Recon
obviously,
and Tactician.
Arrow and Louis, they're fine because they weren't here. They can do whatever they want. That's fair enough. But it's Recon and Tactician, we think.
Recon and Tactician,
wrong tire.
Tactician chose the softs initially. The question is whether Tactician may be left as well, and you know, we didn't see it. But for Recon, for certain.
Okay. He's pitting on lap 1 for softs to avoid disqualification, according to Connor. So he's got to pit for softs at the end of lap 1, apparently, according to Connor.
Only Recon or Tactician as well?
Well, I'm not a grass, but I just grassed him out. So I guess, yes, a Tactician as well. I don't know if Connor's aware of that, but I'm sure he will be. He must be watching. He's not stupid. So I'm sure Connor will communicate with them what to do. But if Recon has to pit them for softs, then so does Tactician. That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
It could actually not be the worst thing in the world if you get a safety car or something, but you'd be just at the back. It's their own fault, really, isn't it? Choosing the wrong tire. It's a bit of a rookie error, that one.
Yeah. So apparently Tactician.
And apparently it's just the top 10.
Okay. So even though Tactician chose a different tire the first time, he is allowed to change his choice in such a restart.
Interesting, that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you're outside the top 10, then your starting tire can be whatever it wants, even if you'd already chosen something before.
Yeah. So Recon is going to have to pit on lap 1 to avoid disqualification. He is allowed to do that, but he has to do that, otherwise he does get disqualified. He knows that, though. He has been informed by now, and so he knows that he has to pit lap 1 in order to avoid disqualification. It has to go on to not just pit, but also go on to the soft compound tire. So pitting alone is enough. If he pits onto hards, that's not legal. He has to pit onto softs lap 1, and then he would avoid disqualification. It's
effectively our version of a stock go penalty.
Yeah.
But here we go then. Lights are coming on. They're very glitchy, but I believe all 5 are on now. And that's again Blizzard getting the early start. He will wait.
It's okay.
And we are now away. Let's have a good start for Chris. He's straight into the lead already.
Recon has pulled over.
Recon's fallen to the back of the pack. He's doing that his own way. And Fast Racer will keep second, but Christmas had a lightning start. Sparks ahead of Blizzard still, then Gill and Jordan side by side. Jordan trying to go at the inside. Nearly contact, has to back it off though in the end. He's got Feynman all over him now. And they're all going through the S section now. I'd imagine not going to see too much side by side or any accidents for that matter. They should be okay, but near the back, they are giving it something. Louis up to P15 already. Arrow falling down. They're going to P19, but getting ahead of Sven again as Recon sits last place.
Yeah, we see a couple of changes. Juice already shooting up 3 places there, all the way up to P10 from 13th, as we see Jordan trying to go around the outside through the hairpin here of Gill, but no cigar there. No chance just yet, as they're all making their way now to Spoon for the first time. We're gonna look at the exit of Spoon here, if we can, to see if someone spins. We saw that caught out a couple of drivers early on, but it seems like they've all made it. Let's look a little bit further back, maybe. No, they've all made it, as Recon is trailing the field and has to pit on lap 1 or get disqualified. Pit lap 1 onto softs or get disqualified, as we see Onyx and Wouters now battling away there. And of course the game is playing around with us a little bit, so do not pay attention as TableClan retires.
Interesting that he's been into the pit lane. He's given up straight away.
Yeah.
Recon also in, so he's fallen to the back. He's also put on the softs. That is absolutely fair enough. He'll be back into the race now, although it has to be said, a long way back. But safety cars can put him back in the action. So hopefully he does stick around. And well, that's a pretty miserable start then if you're Alfa Romeo, because you had Sparks' qualifying blocking incident, which might well get him a quali ban next time out, and now you've had that happen to Recon.
Yeah, meanwhile the field has now ordered itself back. Christmas is again on top, so nothing wrong anymore. And yeah, the gaps are starting to open up now. Yeah, Blizzard, if we look at the gaps right now, it says that Blizzard is 1.3 seconds behind Christmas, and Sparks is 1.6 seconds behind. That's obviously because Blizzard had this early start there, because he's the lobby host, and so he had a little bit of a glitch there where it gave him an early start, and so that's why it's a little bit weird. However, his gap also doesn't change right now, so maybe once he comes across the line it's going to be different. Let's hope. There it is. Yeah, okay, 2.5. Okay, it seems like it's correct now, so it was just stopped. DRS now enabled as well, so once they come towards the Cassia Triangle for the next time, they are allowed to use the drag reduction system to overtake into turn 1 down the main straight.
So it'll be interesting to see really how Bastards can hold on to Christmas then with the DRS, because it has to be said, Christmas is looking pretty good so far. He had an absolutely lightning launch off the line, didn't he? He absolutely shot into the lead. He was straight up there. Bastards was not really on the ball. And then obviously Blizzard, we've got to point out, Blizzard does have these issues every week. I believe he should be okay because he does get to keep P4. He stayed P4. That's fair enough. Hopefully no one does anything about that because it's not his fault, it's the game's fault. But yeah, DRS for pretty much everybody so far, apart from Recon obviously, and for Christmas. And we've got Arrow side by side with Sven. Sven getting back ahead. He was ahead earlier on at the start of the race, but Arrow had got him through the Dunlop curve again. But he's at the back, unfortunately for him. Yeah, here we go then, up the hill. First DRS detection point coming up, and it does it like it's really a 2-horse race at the front because Sparks barely keeping in with that 1 second, it has to be said, and using ERS a lot more. So we'll see if he can hold on, but yeah, DRS everybody now.
Yeah, pretty much everyone. I think Gil, no, he got it at the detection point. I was worried a bit there because he did fall out of it for a second there. But no, he did get it at the detection point. Everyone actually did. But the question is, where's that first crack going to open up? Where is that first sort of spot where a driver falls off and you have a second group building? A couple of gaps there we have to monitor. Prinins right now actually in P16, almost falling off of Fabi. But overall, not too much happening. Gil getting very close there with the 1 second. Every time you see a 1 instead of a 0 in the timing tower, Sven is out.
Sven
Virtual safety car
on the entry to Dunlop. common place to go that, because you're full throttle up there, you can hit the curb, and that can send you spinning off. Hopefully on board recon we can get a better look, but I have a feeling that either there's been contact, because it actually appears extremely early on. Unfortunately he's despawned, but you would expect it to be a little bit further on actually from this. So I wonder if he's actually had contact. Let's have a look at Aero and see if there's any damage to his car.
Doesn't look like it.
Nothing on there. So
that was the wrong car, sorry, but still doesn't look like I thought that was Printins, sorry.
We go green again, by the way, but possibly Sven might have lost on his own. Maybe there was just a little bit of help on the way. Either way, first car to crash out of the race. Obviously, Table Clown went in the pit lane. And Gil looks like he has fallen out of DRS range now, and he's going to be under a lot of pressure. If anything, Thyman actually in this sort of freeway scrap, we'll call it for now, he looks to us aggressive. He was all over the back of Jordan in the S's, but his DRS, he's not using it. I wonder if he's got a failure. That'd be a real shame, but here comes Jordan on the outside of Gil into turn one.
Oh, side by side.
But I think Jordan should have it now. He's on the inside. Gil will be clumsy to fight that one. And Jordan might well pull away from that one because it looked pretty easy for him. And certainly with Gil's pace seemingly a little bit off at the moment, could be a difficult day for the championship leader in Fast Racer. Well, he's only P2 right now. One pass, he's into the championship lead.
Yeah, indeed. He's almost falling off as well, though. 8/10 now. You always want to stay below that 1 second, and 0.9 is where you start sort of slightly panicking. However, Christmas also not with the greatest exit there at the hairpin, so that might help Vossrace actually come a little bit closer, and obviously the DRS helps as well once they get to the main straight. Sparks, however, now he's the one battling here with Blizzard, the CRG guys, in P3 and P4. Right now, this could get very, very interesting here if Sparks does not indeed get the DRS, and it looks like he won't. And indeed, right here is the detection point. He will not have the DRS. That line right there that you saw, that was the detection point. So Sparks under pressure now from Blizzard.
Gil's being passed, by the way, at the same time, since we've got a few things to watch.
Oh, wow.
Blizzard isn't closing, but Feynman is pulling away.
Yeah, and Gil getting overtaken by both.
Onyx. Yeah. Oh, this is bad news for Gil.
Yeah, no
Obviously
damage on the front wing.
Not the best track for the pad, it has to be said, but I'm surprised how quickly Gil is falling through the field. He really does appear to have nothing to fight for right now, and just he's got no grip.
Yeah, the one thing to note here is obviously on one lap you can sort of condition your tires, the soft tires, to you know, be in the right temperature window for one lap where they don't overheat. But in a race like this, it's much harder on the pad to keep those tires in check, and this is a track where, especially once you get to Degner 2, the left front tire is the one screaming at that point. And so by then you really start to fall away, and that's what we're seeing right here from Gil. So very, very tricky. The one sort of salvation for Gil is that it's a figure 8 track, so both tires are almost sort of used and abused equally. So sometimes the left front overheats, sometimes the right front overheats. The left front usually as soon as we get to, as I said, Degner 2, it's basically screaming.
Yeah, here comes Vouchers. He's got another good run here. I don't think he'll quite get Gil, but it certainly looks like if Gil falls out of the DRS range again, he will be a sitting duck to yet another car. And it's looking pretty grim so far. If I were Gil, maybe just get off these tires. The hards and the mediums will not overheat as easily as these ones. Might have a bit better pace and would also get a bit of an undercut as well. But he certainly needs to figure something to get out of this mess, because right now he's going to be losing the championship lead today.
Yeah, and with the issue that you have with the tire wear here, with the tire temperature really, it might actually be a smart call for Gil to go on to hards. I'm not joking, because the hard tires certainly won't overheat. The mediums, I've tried it around here. The mediums can actually overheat on the pad. Maybe Gil's able to, because obviously Gil's a better driver than I am. I'm very well aware of that. But I was able to a certain degree to mitigate that issue, but only to a certain degree. Maybe Gil's got some more advanced tools up his sleeve, but the hard compound tire, very easy to keep in check and keep in the right temperature. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see him pit early and onto the hards.
Yeah, if I were him, I'd be in the pits this lap, frankly. Get out of this fight before it becomes too dangerous. Because you know what? The next car behind this is his teammate on the mediums, the lead car on mediums, looking very nice at the moment, it has to be said. He's flying along.
Yeah, Blizzard
Sparks,
meanwhile,
gets ahead of Sparks, and that's a big slide for the leader as well. He's now under pressure from Vast Racer. Maybe they're all starting to struggle on the tires at the minute. Maybe it's all starting to overheat a bit, but it is now Blizzard into the podium positions. And it is, well, maybe time to have a look at Juice and see how his ultimate strategy is going. AlphaTauri, the king of the ultimate strategies, it has to be said this season. Could we be on to another winner at the moment because he's flying along?
Yeah, seems like it, as the front 9 are all struggling right now, as it seems. We have Blizzard sort of a second and a half behind Vasa Racer. And so he will not get any DRS unless it gets significantly closer. As Aero has left the session again, and that is his race over at this point. Very, very unlucky once again. Aero dropped out during qualifying and now drops out once again during the race. I don't know if it's his connection, if his game is just acting up, but certainly something doesn't seem right there. Very unlucky. And hopefully he's got better luck next time and his internet connection will hold up a little bit better.
Okay then, let's see who's going to pit. We're sort of heading towards that point now. Undercuts could be viable.
Oh, Blizzard!
Will pit. Anyone else going to look for it? I think Feynman's in as well. Gil doesn't pit. And
I can tell you why, he's got DRS.
That's good for him. So does most others. That's the problem. Most others also
exactly.
He's in trouble now though, because he's lost one of the cars in front of him, and Onyx will get to pull that gap, probably, in this middle sector.
It only makes sense. It only makes sense to pit early for the undercut if you do not have DRS. If you have DRS, stay out, because it's the only DRS zone, and so it's so valuable to get these couple of tenths that wasting them when you could have them. When you have the DRS enabled for that straight and you still go in, it doesn't really make sense.
Well, he's just about kept it on, but he was certainly all over the grass on the way in. He wants to get by Sparks, whose tires look to have been absolutely shot to bits. And it has to be said, Jordan's got loads of ERS to use as well. And yeah, Gil is falling outside that ERS. He has to pit this lap. Or the DRS, I should say.
Yeah, Sparks will pit.
Will be past him on this main
Sparks
straight.
will pit, I think. Maybe Onyx if he doesn't get within a second, although he's really playing jump rope with that 1 second gap right now. However, I think he's fallen out of it now as Jordan is following in the slipstream of Sparks, but I think Sparks is going to have to pit, surely. Christmas, well, he's got the choice. Does he come in? He does come in, and Vos Racer follows in, despite having everyone's coming in now. Wouter stays. Wouter's the only one to stay at the end of lap 9, so he goes for the longer one. Everyone else probably looked at the race info graphic that we had earlier and said, hey, it says lap 9 to 10, let's do lap 9. Let's do the undercut on everyone else, hopefully. But they all had the same idea, except for Wouters, who's going to go 1 lap longer and will be giving probably...
Let's just jump faster, Racer. That's why you undercut on this track. He's up to P2, but he did just get a 3-second time penalty. So it's not all sunshines and rainbows, but he is P2 now. Net P2. We don't know what these ultimate strategy guys are going to do. They could well get lucky safety cars as well, but Blizzard's certainly making up ground on the guys around him.
Yeah, meanwhile, that ghosted Red Bull car there is not Blizzard's ghost of the past or anything. It's Aero who has unfortunately disconnected, so he's no longer in the race. He's listed as P12 right now, but he will fall down the order, and he will be listed as a retirement.
Feynman also ahead of Sparks, thanks to those pit stops. So Sparks, pretty much the big loser and all that, I guess, following what that be now, net P5 rather than fighting for P3, and it could get worse as well later on with the other guys. He certainly seems to be struggling in general out there. Gil just about setting in the DRS of Onyx right now, but you got to say that's not going to last too long at Gill's current pace. He's also having to use his ERS just to keep up. He will get DRS, I'd imagine, of Aero's car. I don't think it will be slow enough to get him here. And there's Tactician going up.
Valter stayed out,
passing his teammate. Valter is staying out. Well, we saw he had some decent pace earlier on. So I guess he's going to use it while he has it, maybe try something different towards the end. I don't really know what he can try though when everyone else is on mediums, but he might just have that little bit of extra firepower at the end of the race, but we've just seen how powerful the undercut is. However, Fast Racer has now passed Blizzard again.
Yeah,
and he's up into net P2, so maybe Blizzard's used all his ERS and all that, and that's sort of what's done him in. Are they all using it now? It's weird that. Maybe Val just has a point, because he's not using really anything at the front. He's saving it all for later, and that could get him.
Yeah, but at the same time, you look at the gaps, and we talked about this earlier, 21 seconds is what you lose in the pit lane, roughly, so I reckon he's going to fall behind Gill, and basically being behind this whole train of cars, behind Christmas, Fast Racer, Blizzard, Diamond, Sparks, Jordan, Onyx, and Gill, basically sort of in a net P9. And then the first one to sort of be swallowed up by all the alternate strategy runners there that are already behind him in Juice, Tactician, Sammy Bean, Ashbest, Louis, Fabi, and Prinnin. So for Valters, this isn't going well at all, I reckon, as he now pits and will probably rejoin about 2 seconds behind Gill.
So now Juice then has a free track ahead of him. Let's see what he can do with it. He's made 2 seconds on the rest of the medium loader, so it's already been a good start for him. Christmas, though, is setting fast laps, so he is closing on all this. Obviously, you would expect that being on 10-lap pressure tires. It's all going to be about the end of the race for these guys, and safety cars, of course, can play a part too. So we'll see what they all decide to do. But right now, Juice probably the one, obviously, looking in the best position to make this work in some capacity.
Yeah, and meanwhile the gap is now there, and it's 2.5 seconds actually from Gill to Valters. So he's rejoined behind all of that and then some. As we look at Christmas right now, is there anything where it's getting close right now? Let's see. Doesn't really, I mean, it seems like it's close everywhere, but nowhere is it really close where someone's in striking distance, as the wonderful AWS graphics always like to say. We have sort of Ashbest behind Louis, maybe with a chance. Let's actually go there and see how this is going, as Louis runs a little bit wide out of Spoon, but keeps it on track and doesn't spin. Louis battling to stay within a second. He might actually lose the DRS here on Samubin, and I think, yeah, he did. He did. So Ashbest maybe with an opportunity here. Prinnin's, as much as he's close on Fabi now, probably not.
I'd say Fabi and Prinnin's are in the best position to get at these two, because they are absolutely screwed on ERS. Look at them, they're on 3 and 2% respectively, Louis and Ashbest, and the rest of them behind have got plenty more to use just when they decide to use it. Their pit window's just opened, by the way, to go in for sauce. That's what the game says.
No, that's not true.
I'd be very surprised if that's for a 1-stop. I'd imagine it's probably more for a 2-stop.
That could be the case, but for a 1-stop, the pit window has not opened. It will open around, I think, what was it, lap 17.
I think it'll be that late. I don't think it'll be that late. I reckon you might see the first ones coming in 16 or 17. Some might
16
try an
could
undercut.
be.
Some might try an undercut.
If you want to go for the massive undercut of the century, you might go for lap 16. But I think, yeah, for the most part, it's going to open lap 17. As Aero and Recon are now pitting. Recon now getting off the softs that he was forced to get onto, and he's now passing Aero, who has, as we mentioned before, disconnected, so not really paying much attention to him, but Recon has pitted now as well after that mistake on his tire choice at the start of the race.
So Prinnin's all over Fabi.
Yeah, and Ashbest all over Louis.
Forward got it into Cashew Triangle, both of that pack, and Fabi will pit now.
Oh, so that's early. Is that for hards?
Well, now we've got Ashbest passing, and now the pit window has officially opened for sauce, and the game says you can do it. Game has said you can do it.
I'm surprised. Fabi wants to go over half race distance on the soft compound tire.
Well, the game said he can do it. Why not? Let's see. Let's see what he does. He'll be decent undercut this one, you'd imagine. It just depends where he's going to end up because, I mean, he is 7.5 seconds behind Valtters.
Yeah.
And so you'd expect really the rest of the pack, maybe apart from Juice, to be that sort of same distance. Juice is the only one who's going to be able to dig into that pack early on. And, well, yeah, you'd want half the race to do that, surely. If the game says you can do it, I'm sure they've done practice that says they can do that as well. So, yeah, we'll see how they get on. But it has to be said, I don't really think anyone's going to be catching Christmas today. He has absolutely driven a blinder so far as we get Recon. And that's a crash as well. Yeah. As Aero goes past,
safety
and
car.
That's a safety car for sure.
Oh,
and the safety car does come out.
This hurts Fabi.
That's massive trouble for
this
Fabi.
Hurts Fabi.
He's going to be furious. But what do they all do then? Do
the top 6 pit. The top 6 pit.
I reckon they'll all pit because they're going to all lose. The top 6 are going to keep track position, maybe apart from Sammy Bean. And even if they don't keep track position, they're not going to be at the back, I don't think. They'll all pit because they can also floor it.
Oh, Renault's going to double stack. Renault's going to double stack.
Second you hit this pit lane, your delta disappears, so you can floor it. I don't think
Christmas stays out here. Last race of pits.
Yeah, I agree with this. I think you're going to lose track position anyway to some of them. You might as well.
Have a look how many stay out. You see it on the red side, on the right side there. How many stayed out? We have 6 cars that all stayed out. Christmas, Blizzard, Diamond, Sparks, Jordan, Onyx, all out there. And Vaster Racer has now dropped to P13 and might actually drop to 14 with Fabi. And indeed does. So I'm not sure about this one. I'd fancy my chances on the mediums, to be honest.
Oh, but I think they've made a mistake here, a severe mistake. This is only 6 cars that Juice is going to have to get by. His tires are brand new as well, and he can absolutely nurture them on these few laps. Yeah, you can look after the mediums, but they've already got some wear on them in the first place. Not a good start. So Juice will effectively be going from what, lap 17 at racing pace? That's what we were saying earlier. And the game said they can go from even earlier than that. So Juice is in the best position to win this race, unless of course the others on the sauce behind fight as well. So Christmas, I said he has some good pace. He's gonna have to show some of it. I don't think it's the best choice to say out there. Maybe, I guess. Well, actually, seeing how Vastress has fallen down, I'm maybe thinking more for the victory. I'm thinking more for victory there. You're maybe not best to say, but I guess maybe you sort of have to be. They're sort of left between a rock and a hard place. Lose the race in the pit or lose the race on the track.
Exactly.
We'll see what they decide to do. But certainly, from where I'm sitting, it's going to be a soft runner who wins this race now.
I'm not sure. I think the top 6. You got to remember, there's only half a second between the mediums and the softs, or 6/10. Sorry. As Recon has left the session, oh, that's him out. Oh no, he's already sorry. Apologies. Yeah, apologies. So only 6/10 between the softs and the mediums. That's not much. Add the DRS maybe, but then again, most likely we will have a whole DRS train again, and so it all negates itself as we're waiting for Aero to catch up to the field. Even though he's disconnected, I personally think it was the wrong call for Vaster Race. I think you can definitely battle on those medium tires, even though they're slightly older. I think you can definitely battle on those, and you don't have to. As Gil now pits as well. Interesting call that. Yeah,
might as well.
From soft to soft.
So, just gonna put this out there. P23 in the Drivers' Championship. He's currently sitting P10. Can Louis finally get his first point of the season? I don't think you'll find a better chance than this for a while.
I mean, this or never. I gotta be honest, this or never. If he somehow ends up without a single point out of this race, I don't even want to finish that sentence.
Can't sack him if he can't get a point today.
He's washed if he can't get a point today.
He's in P10 right now. He's in P4 on the softs. I know I said that, you know, on the mediums you can fight, but at the same time the softs have an advantage, and so he should get at least some positions. Maybe not all of them. Maybe not finish P4, but a point. I think that should be an opportunity here for Louis to finally catch a break, finally get his first point of the season. I mean, if not now, then never.
Right then, so we should be expecting that safety car likes to be going out any moment now on the way up the hill, I'd imagine.
Well, it should be just before 130R. The second sector, the last sector really only consists of 3 corners. The 130R and the 2 corners of the Casio Triangle, that's about it. So it's, the third sector doesn't really exist on this track, but no, we didn't get it yet. Oh, there we go. A little bit late, but...
It is slower tires at the front, only 6 of them, versus the alternate strategy guys who have had the biggest break they could have asked for, as they are now the attackers, and the guys at the front, especially Christmas, is going to have to do a lot of defending to try and win this race. We're going to have 11 laps of fantastic action here at Suzuka, and Prinens has already got a penalty, and Christmas has nearly spun off, but he has got away, and he's away ahead of Blizzard. He should be under no pressure whatsoever, and eyes all on to the soft runners now. What are they going to do, and how quickly are they going to do it?
Yeah, I mean, we had a little bit of an issue with the camera there. The camera didn't want to show us an outside shot. It wanted to be on board with Christmas for a safety car restart. A little bit surprising there, but we got it all sorted out now. And really, I think right now that the most interesting thing is going to be to look at Juice and Onyx and how quickly Juice is going to get past that racing point. Is he going to make quick work of him, or is he going to take his time and really struggle getting past that pink machine? That is going to be what really defines this race at the end of the day.
The good news is, no offense to Sparks, but we've seen how much he's struggled today so far. He might hold these 2 behind him up and give Juiced a bit of an easier time actually getting past. So that could be already a positive start for Juiced. We know how good his pace was earlier as well, compared to all the other guys on the same strategies. So he should be feeling quite comfortable as Louis, side by side with Prinens, nearly contact the hill. Really good fight in this one, but it is going to be Prinens who gets the slipstream there actually of Ash Best, and that puts him ahead. Unintentional, but is it into
Louis battling this though?
It's going to be a collision. Yeah, that's Prinens. Leaving it late, and Juiced is going round the outside of the final corner on Onyx, and they touch. But surely Juice is going to be able to have the grip into turn 1, even if Onyx wants to try and fight back, and that is going to be P6 already. Look at Tactician, he fancied a look as well, he backed off.
Yeah, that was a massive fight there, but Juice already got 1. There's still 10 laps left to go, and he's only got 5 in front of him, so maybe you are right after all, Owen. And the soft tires have enough pace to make this happen. However, we also are going to get the DRS train, so Juice is going to have to get creative, as he did there, when either
how has he kept that on? He might lose the position, Juice, but that would be if only Onyx decided to go for me, which he doesn't. But Juice, he's got to make sure he doesn't do that. He's got to keep it on the road, because it's a golden opportunity for the man who I said earlier on, he's only got 5 points. I said we had to see something special from him today, and well, this is his opportunity to do it.
Yeah, especially now that Gil is in P16, the championship lead, and nowhere near the lead of the race, nowhere near getting any points, really. And the second in the championship faster race as well, P14. This is how quickly it can happen as Louis falls down another place against Fabi. He's now down to P12. So we thought it was going to go up for Louis. Instead is going to go down, and he's got 2 cars behind him as well, very close. You see 2/10 there for Sammy being behind Louis, and then another 2/10 for Faster race as we now have DRS enabled. But of course, DRS is only enabled basically near the end of this lap, because the detection point is near the end of the lap before the Casio Triangle.
This is going to get properly hectic actually for all these soft runners. They're all sort of starting to realize that we could get some proper good points here at the end if we just get up a few positions, because those medium runners are going to be there for the taking at the end of this race, even if they don't get them now. And that's why they're fighting so hard, and they nearly come together multiple times. Prinens, a bit of a loose cannon, and Louis has cannon accident. I think the Faster Racer, virtual safety car. I think it was Vast Racer, because Vast Racer's front line is smashed to pieces.
Oh yeah,
Gil was going past all that, and he has no damage, and Wouters had passed him illegally, and he's had to stop dead on the track as well.
Oh, now everyone has to wait.
So he's also put us win. So it's been a 3-car collision battle. It's a 4-car because Sammy Bean is also in there. And that's what I'm saying. They're all fighting so hard because they know what's up for grabs. And it's all gone wrong. And Louis also got a penalty,
and
even
Valtters
though
retires.
he's not here. How is that even possible? Valtters is retired from the race. Surprised we actually didn't really get a safety car for a 4-car collision, but there you go. And just going to be waiting the green flags then, because nothing really much to wait for now. The game decides when we go green, and when we do, hopefully we'll have a chance to use some DRS here on this main straight. We'll have a look at Juice, sure, for this restart, and see how he gets on, because they all look to be starting to accelerate away again. Their deltas must be telling them we're about to go green again.
And there it goes.
We have done.
Perfect timing, Owen, I gotta say.
Thank you.
But yeah, here goes just he's
sadly,
8/10 down right now, so not a chance to overtake here just yet. DRS is of course enabled again, but it wasn't at the detection point, and so everyone didn't get DRS here because they passed the detection point when it was disabled, and so they didn't get it down the straight, even though they were within a second of each other at times, or some of them were. So once more, no DRS there, which it doesn't really matter, because we say this so often, but it still holds true. If everyone gets DRS, then no one gets DRS.
Problem is, Simon isn't getting DRS. That's bad news. It leaves Blizzard with a penalty he needs to get by Christmas.
Well, Sparks doesn't have it either right now. It's very close there. Simon is getting back into it, but Sparks...
I think Blizzard really is gonna have to be the first one to make a move, because he's got to pass the super fast Christmas and somehow make 3 seconds on him, because that penalty is gonna really annoy him. I don't know if Christmas has a penalty or not. Not even, he's got 1 warning. I'm sorry, he got 1 just there on this lap. But I mean, he's the only one of these front runners who has a penalty apart from Jordan, and all that fighting. So that's bad news, and Blizzard's got to get a move on, and he knows it.
Well, does he though? That is the question I'm gonna ask, because I think Blizzard's goal here is not to pass Christmas just yet. He wants to pass Christmas ideally on the beginning of lap 27 down into turn 1,
and then make 3 seconds.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You're right. He has a penalty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's gonna do it now.
what he could also do that. Either he makes it now and tries to pull away. You're right about that, actually.
Oh, Jordan and Sparks, bit of contact there. Jordan might be motivated to pass. Actually, he sort of nudged himself into the position, and again, Sparks sort of crawling around here in this front-running fight. Unfortunately, he's not a slow driver. It's just at the front, it's sort of humbling him a little bit, and it's creating quite the train behind him, and it's sort of predicted. And that's what's going to put these soft runners into it, but none of them are really doing much about it at the minute, actually. They are struggling to pass.
Sparks, meanwhile, almost spun there, way out of the corner already. And look at that. Juice also really close. Looking to get a move on the braking down the outside of the Casio triangle. Now gets the inside, gets the position.
Contact.
Oh, they said touch. Oh, they almost spin. And there goes Onyx, taking 2 for 1.
Again. They've hit again. Here comes Tactician, and we're 3 wide now. Down towards turn 1. Oh, this will go to the shirt, and this goes wrong. Don't keep it 3 wide.
We have a bad camera angle there, but it seems like it's all fine.
Oh, and again! And Juice is still staying on the inside. He's going to be furious about that. And it's all gone wrong there. And Onyx on the grass. Let's just give him credit there. What a lovely move to take advantage of that. Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Remember, Onyx is 3rd in the standings. This is how you put yourself back into the fold. We see Vasta Racer in 14th, Gil in 12th, both without points if it finishes this way. Onyx right now would at least get 6 points. It's not much, but it's certainly something, and it would put him 7 points behind Vasta Racer, 17 behind Gil. So it's certainly an opportunity here, and he might want to get some more positions as well. He is within 1 second of Sparks right now. This could be an opportunity for him as well, considering how low Sparks is running on ERS. and how much Onyx still has left. So this could get very, very interesting here for Onyx to get himself some more positions.
So I think we're sort of at that point now where we'll admit that yes, you were right, you shouldn't have pitted. Because, yeah, these soft runners are not getting through, and it's really, I mean, one try and they've come together. And it's the second time that's happened now since that restart, where people in the sauce have tried to make moves and it's ended in contact. And I guess it's sort of down to the track design more than anything. When you see the thought of it is when they made the statement.
That was...
Yeah, sure, try it on a Canada or something. Yeah, you'll win, but not here, I guess.
Yeah. It's hard to overtake around here at the best of times. Even with a soft tire advantage, it's still hard to overtake at the worst of times. So it wasn't going to happen, most likely, and the track position was what matters. So Valserator really with an absolutely awful call there to pit during the safety car period, and it was really only worth it for the runners who were still on the alternate strategy and who were still on the mediums from the start to pit, but not for the drivers who've already pitted once before.
So we still have the top three all in DRS, and just 100% sure, let me just check again, Feynman. I know the top two, their kind of situation, and yeah, Feynman's got no penalties. We know Blizzard in the middle, in second, has a penalty, and Christmas hasn't got a penalty either.
Does
so
Sparks have one?
I don't think it's, I don't think he did. I think Jordan does. I don't know about the rest of them. There's still some fighting going on there. Probably putting himself into the points. But certainly that top three, I mean, that might end up being a fight because Feynman's got a full tank of ERS. Blizzard's got 33%. Christmas has got 9% ERS here.
Hold on. Feynman on my screen is down to 10% right now.
Oh, I might have got a glitch.
It might be,
yes. Masters.
It might be a glitch,
That's annoying.
Blizzard is the one who's got the best situation in terms of ERS out of those three.
Right, yeah, well, that would be then. So he is on 41.
Yeah, but he needs to make a move sooner rather than later. Or is he just thinking at this point, well, let's just all three drive away and try and get away from Sparks and P4?
Well, they've done that now.
Yeah, he's done that. The other two, I mean, between Thyman and Sparks is under 3 seconds, but between him and Sparks, it's over. And so at this point, yeah, Blizzard would get a podium still. He wouldn't get P2, but he would get P3.
And then obviously Sparks, anyway, even if they struggle with the gap, he might come under pressure soon. I gotta say, he might be struggling for pace at the minute, but he is doing a fantastic job keeping this train behind. This is not easy to do with so many soft runners behind you, trust me. I think he's lucky in a way that it's two mediums behind him, but either way, it's still a very good job to keep it all behind. But I do sort of feel there's an inevitable breaking point again with this train. Someone's going to go for something somewhere, because it's the whole rest of the field he's got behind him, apart from the ones that have had accidents.
Yeah,
it's the whole rest of the field.
Yeah, it goes all the way down to P12 to Gil. And
Gil, he needs these points right now. Yes, he's outscoring Vassaracer, but Onyx is taking home P5 right now, and that could be crucial at the end of the season. We have to keep saying it. Every point matters here.
At the same time, Owen, do you really want to get even 1 point when you're on 69? It's
a good point, but I'd suggest in the championship.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, most likely. If you want to go for the memes only, you know, P12 is probably fine, but if you want to go for the championship win, every point matters. And with this race and then 5 more left in the season, it's really heating up now. This is really crunch time. This is where it matters. And every single
Onyx
point.
Is going for this. Here he goes on the outside into the Casio triangle. Is this the breaking point? Will he get through? Oh, nearly contact, but he has made it sick. Another brilliant move.
But he didn't get the DRS. That's for Sparks, and the question is
no ERS though. Nothing to fight there with. I think Onyx will hold that.
Yeah.
And certainly a move, a deserving move as well. He shouldn't lose it after that. Fantastic there.
Fair
Onyx
enough.
Up into P4.
Yeah, and Maybe Onyx is going to now try and hunt after Thyman, and more importantly, Blizzard, if he knows that Blizzard has a penalty.
He only has to have, what, 9/10 to catch? Maybe a second?
A second, yeah.
He won't have any DRs to do that with, though, and it is the same age tires. Bit of a push, but we'll see if he can do it. He'll certainly give it a go.
I mean, they're on the same tires, basically. Blizzard's a 1 lap older, but apart from that, it's the same. So the difference isn't that much. And it's going to have to happen on pace.
Has Gil got a penalty? Because there is a few penalties in here. I think Jordan's got one, hasn't he? Yes.
Sammy Bean has one now.
Jordan has one. Sammy Bean has one. Pren's just got his second. So Gil could actually get some points in here, and that is good news.
Yeah, he could get 1 point, I think, from what I see there.
Yes. I think, yeah. P10 looks to be what he's looking for. But here's Blizzard then. Final lap coming up. Is he going to try anything? I feel it'll be a bit silly to do so. I just sort of hold on to what I've got. He knows he's finishing P3 right now. I don't think he wants to take away from Christmas here because he is going to be on for a fantastic result. But first of all, let's see Jordan. He's trying to get by Sparks into turn 1. And he's failing in doing so. And yeah, with that penalty, I would be getting a move on. But unfortunately, there's no way past him at the moment. But that ends in tears. That's very close already. That could get very entertaining in that final lap.
Yeah, I mean, well, we got to keep an eye on the top 3 because this is the final lap.
We missed the finish last week, and this is certainly one I don't want to finish. Let me just put this in perspective for you right now. Christmas is currently sitting 13th in the championship. He has only had 3 point scoring finishes and 1 podium so far. And he's here in Suzuka today, about to make that a 4th points finished, a 2nd podium, and a 1st ever victory this season. If he can just make it stick arrow quite how he's managed to get this qualified one as far as
that was the AI.
Yeah. That's it. That's shockingly impressive.
The AI tried to go for a medium to medium strategy. Okay.
Right, here comes Christmas then. We're not missing it this week. I'll regret that fun if I do. Because here he comes through the Casio triangle. And he's just got 1 more corner to go now. No more pesky bump. And the Haas driver comes on the final corner. He's been the best driver all day. Christmas wins in Suzuka. It's Fire in 2nd, and it's Blizzard in 3rd, and he will
Onyx in 3rd.
He must have got 2 penalties then, but he must have missed one because it's Onyx in 3rd then, with Sparks 4th, then Blizzard 5th, then Tactician, Juiced, Fabi, Ashbest, Jordan, and Gil misses out by 2/10.
I think
or was
I know.
It a slow lap?
No, I think I know what it was. It's the fact that Blizzard started early again, that moved him down. It might actually get rectified after the race, and yes, Blizzard might get P3 back.
I can see what you're on about.
Pending Steward's decision here. Right now, the scoring is that Onyx gets P3. However, with the start glitch, it could very well happen because the gap was over 3 seconds. Could very well happen that Blizzard does get P3 back.
We'll check the penalties again just to be sure.
It was a 3-second penalty.
We might just miss one. But
no, it wasn't 6 seconds because he only finished 5.5 seconds behind Christmas, and he was across the line behind. It could be maybe it was a 5-second penalty.
Well, I think Jess had suggested that in the chat earlier. I was pretty sure it was a 3-second one. But,
it is a 3-second one, yep. So it was the start glitch for sure. At this point, it was the start glitch. So Christmas wins. I guess you could say Christmas came early. 5 minutes 2nd. And then Blizzard in 3rd. That is probably going to be the Stewards' result. We're just going to preempt that right now.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, Onyx 4, Sparks 5, Tactician 6. I think that's his best result of the season, isn't it?
Let me just quickly check.
Yeah, Juiced in 7, meanwhile. Fabi 8, Ashbest 9. Jordan gets the final point. Gil misses out by 2.5 of a second. Even though Jordan got a penalty, it only dropped him down to P10. Gil 11, Prince 12, Osracer 13, Sammy Bean 14. And then we had Louis, Wouters, Recon, Sven, Tableclan, and Aero, your non-finishers. So, yeah, I mean, this is interesting. Now, Onyx in P4 means he gets 8 points. Gil in P11, no points. Vast Racer P13, he did get the fastest lap, but that means no fastest lap point for anyone. And so, the top 2 in the championship, no points. Onyx gets 8. It's going to inch him so much closer to at least Vasta Racer, and to some extent, obviously, then by extension, Gil as well. This is going to be very interesting. And Thyman, too, with his 12 points there. I mean, this could really, really get interesting. Blizzard getting 10. I mean, we're going to have to check the standings in a second. But this could make the next 5 races very, very spicy.
Just want to confirm, that is Christmas's best result of the season. It's also Tactician and Juiced's best finishes of the season, respectively, as well. So well done to all those ones. But I've got to just say, Christmas, absolutely one of the best drives I've seen this season. Slightly came out of nowhere, but not going to complain about it. Superb drive.
Yeah, and we get to do it all again next week. Well, some of us get to do it again tomorrow for the Formula Performance, but for us here at the F1, it's going to be the Chinese Grand Prix, the Shanghai International Circuit, and we're not going to see a lot of the soft tire, I think. It's probably safe to say, but it's going to be interesting for sure. Maybe some drivers are going to be bold enough to go. It's going to be certainly an interesting qualifying. So next week, make sure you do not miss that. That is October 12th, 8 p.m. UK, right here on the PSGL channel. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and we will be back next week for the Chinese Grand Prix, round 10 of 14.